an encounter with a shapeshifter, God and spirituality, and the true meaning of Dreamcatchers. That's what Carla Goodson is going to share with us on today's episode of Indigenous Podcast.
Hello to everyone. This is Pastor Efra Caloro, and welcome to the next episode of this Indigenous podcast. And I am thrilled and happy because with me, a special guest that I have also a fellow friend of mine by the name of Cal Roller, and he will be introducing that special guest that we have right now. So, Cal, are you somewhere over there?
Yes, thank you so much, Effer. I really appreciate being here because most of the time I work behind the scenes, but I'm excited that I get to co-host this episode with you. Now, we have a very special guest with us. Her name is Carla Goodson, and I'm excited to to let her share what she's going to share today. She's actually Indigenous from 7 different tribes, and
Wow.
she's the founder of a nonprofit organization. So, Carla, welcome to the show. Now, before we get into any specific questions, tell me just generally a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I was raised on the Cherokee Reservation and partly in South Carolina on Indian land that my grandparents had. My grandmother was full-blooded. My granddad was a big mix between Indigenous, French, Scot-Irish, Spanish, Mexican, and German and Scot-Irish. And his tribes were Inca. His tribes was Inca. And then on my mother's side was the Gullich, the Argentina Pampas, the Wakama. And on my dad's side was Blackfoot. His mother was full-blooded Blackfoot. His dad was half Cherokee, half Comanche. And I speak 7 languages. And I believe that the Creator gave us everything and that we should respect life and respect Mother Earth and cherish and love your neighbor and love everything that you can and to be good to what you can. Not everybody's good. Not everybody tells the truth, but we all make mistakes. But the most important thing is to know that no matter what storm you're going through, the sun is always shining and the rainbow's always on the horizon. And anything in between that you go through, the Creator's guiding you. And at the end, you're going to see that light.
I'd like to ask a little bit more about the spiritual aspects that you're bringing up and also your nonprofit organization. But first, before we get to that, tell us what are some of the traditions and customs that are unique to these tribes? What's one of them that you identify with most?
About how I grew up in the knowledge that women are strong and that we're only weak because we allow ourselves to be weak. But my grandmother says you always got to find it inside your heart to walk the path, to be strong, and to grow is to fall and stumble. But sometimes the stumbling rocks don't become stumbling stones until you go through that passageway. And then you become a stumbling step where you adversary and you can pick yourself up and advocate for what you've gone through in life. And most of the traditional, there's 500 tribes altogether that make up the Indian nations. That does not count for the state recognized tribes. And the state recognized tribes have been fighting for centuries to become federally recognized. But every time they go through Washington and Congress, they get turned down. And they meet the qualifications. They have their bylaws. They have the people, the names and everything, the ancestors. But the government kicks them out saying, oh, you're not Indigenous. Who says that we're not Indigenous? Who says that we are not here first? Because we were. And all the Indigenous people speak for the same thing, unity and tribal sovereignty and the rights to be known as the first citizens of the United States, and that the sacred monuments and the sacred lands that we have for our ceremonies are being destroyed from land management, from LBM, from the government down, are coming in and trying to take the minerals, dig for mineral rights for the stones and stuff, oil and stuff. And that's not right. And then they're they're eliminating the members of the tribe from years ago. Like a lot of the black slaves, when they ran to the tribes, they intermarried with the women and they became members of the tribes. And then back in in the early 50s, they were late 40s and early 50s, they were told that they could no longer be members. And it's just been a few years back that they were allowed to come back in.
Which tribe is that you're working for, that you're trying to get them federal recognition?
The Waccamaw, which is one of my mother's tribes. And my cousin used to be the Chief Hatcher, but now his wife is because he turned ill. And they've been doing it 10, 11, 12, almost 15 years to become recognized. They've been to Washington 5 times and been turned down.
Tell me about the Waccamaw tribe.
Yes, they live in Aynard, South Carolina, on the coast of the Myrtle Beach. And a lot of people on the coastline were actually part black, part native, or full native. Some were full black. And that region was known as the Waccamaw land until you get to the borderline of Charleston. And now it's cut short, and we're only a few miles from Myrtle Beach, about 5-10 miles from Myrtle Beach, outside Myrtle Beach, Aynard, South Carolina. There's over 250 members.
What's the difference between a federally recognized tribe and a state recognized tribe? And why is there a difference there?
Because state recognized does not get the federal funding that the federal tribes do. We can get grants as long as it says, like if a student wants to go to college, as long as it says it's state, that they recognize state recognized tribes, you can get that grant, you can apply for it. But if you aren't, you don't get free hospitalization, you don't get your BIN number. You have to get a state recognized number, but you just don't get the federal recognition of grants, land management, sovereignty, anything like that.
Is there a particular story or legend that is passed down through the generations that's particularly meaningful to you?
Yes, one of them is my grandmother told me. She told me a long time ago. She goes, "Taheshine awaku ta askane awa tagashkala." She goes, when you make your tribal traditions, when you make your tribal regalia, when you make your dream catchers, sing a song from beadwork to the leather to your moccasins, everything, the feathers, everything has a song. And smudge it, then pray for it, hold it up in the sun and ask the Creator to bless it with his love through the sun, through the wisdom, to sustain us as we pray and walk and dance on Mother Earth. So everything is done with the song and blessing. If it's not, it's not traditional.
Speaking of spiritual things and the Creator, Effer, did you have any questions about that area?
Before a spiritual thing, I would like to ask, what some food or music or dances traditions that you have, like in food, in music, also dances. Do you still dance those old dances that you guys have? And the food also, and
yes, we do this. Yes, we have the Northern Cree, the Southern Cheyenne, the Plains music, all different kind of music. We have the Cherokee music. Every tribe has drummers. Every drummer has a different song. But the most important thing is when you go up and you ask for a song, you put sage on the drum to ask the drum to give you that. As far as food, we eat anything from pignons, blackberry cornbread, to blueberry cornbread, to pudding, to blueberry pudding, to homemade blackberry pudding mixed in oatmeal.
Wow.
Crab bread, fry bread, awesome. Native tacos. Native tacos mixed with buffalo, mixed with deer, mixed with raccoon, elk, Elk is a favorite of a lot of natives, and so is deer and bison. That's the best. And then we put black beans on it, onions, tomatoes, and then your salsa. But I make indigenous Inca salsa from my great-great-grandmother, and it's good. And the powwows. What I love about our powwows, our festivals, no alcohol, no drugs. If you're caught, you're banned. If you walk in drunk or something, you get arrested. We keep it respectful. We respect the elders. The children can roam and are free, and everybody watches them. Not just one, but the whole tribe that's sitting around, all the vendors watch the children. And if they're doing something wrong, an elder will go over there and call them. The parents don't say nothing to the elder, corrects the child.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's amazing. It sounds like a very wholesome kind of society. I would like to try some of that blackberry cornbread, though. If you could send me your recipe, I'd love to try it out.
Yeah.
Does that sound delicious?
I'll be glad to. I'll be honored to.
Well, you have mentioned earlier that your father has Comanche, Cherokee, your mom Wakama, Inca, Argentina, Pampas. So, how do you in which tribe you consider yourself? Because you have a lot of mixed thing.
A human being.
A human being. So
I am a human being.
Tribe.
I'm native, but I'm a human being.
Yeah, that's a very philosophical answer because it's true. People forget we all come from the same place. And then we humans cause these divisions. So I really love that answer. Well, you're human. And that encompasses me too. I'm a human and Efra's a human. And we need to stop these divisions.
Who is the creator to you in your tribe?
The creator is Chagaskula, Wankantanka. He's God. He's the Father. He's the creator. But one thing my grandmother taught me very seriously, there was my grandmother's cousin came to visit us one day. And we were on the farm and we were sitting outside. And he asked, he said, Aunt Martha. She looked at him, said, we'd like you to come to church. She said, if you can answer this, I'll go to church. She said, show me where God preached in a building. She said, tell me the story of where God preached in a building. She said, look around you. She said, who created the heavens? He said, God. Where is God? Up there. Then she said, who created this land, Mother Earth? God. Well, where is he? Up there. Who created the forest? Who created the animals? And he had to point to God every time. She said, now, show me in the Bible where God did not walk this earth and did not teach his word to everybody.
Wow.
And she said, when you show me that, I'll go in, because a building is not God. God, it lives within us. It depends on how our actions walk on Mother Earth.
Yes, it's true. You mentioned the Bible. Jesus, he preached on the lake, on the beaches. He preached out in the open, in the wilderness, in the garden. So,
and you know what, Carla? In connection to you just said, it's very, very interesting for me. Since you believe in the creator who made the heaven and the earth, which me too, I believe the creator who made the heavens and the earth and everything and the animals. Now, is there a way or formal rituals of worshiping that creators in your tribe? How do you worship that creator?
This is a piece that we use to pray with so that our prayers can reach the heavens. It's a sage stick. I don't know if you can see this, but this is ground sage. This is ground sage right here. We burn it as incense, or we take it to the mountains, or we take it to the woods, and we sage ourselves, asking for forgiveness, asking for spirit guiding, asking for the light to help us in our decision. This is cedar right here, and we mix it with the sage, and we burn it, and it helps us to cleanse ourselves. It helps us to manifest our spirit more with the Creator And when we do it, we're asking for a strong blessing. We're asking for help in our lives, in our decisions, because we go through a lot. Each of us goes through a lot, but we have to find our own essence to meet with the Creator. There's a lot of natives that are alcoholics. There's a lot of natives that I've seen that put their children up with pedophiles. And this is on the Lakota reservation in South Dakota. I've seen it. I've been there.
So in the Oneida Nation, the women have a significant role in choosing the leaders. In your tribe, is there any elder or spiritual leaders that play the preserving your tradition, or is it the woman that plays the big role, or the man? Well, tell us.
Well, in the Cherokee, the women have more power. In the Waccamaw, it's equal. In the Comanche, the man. Even though the women domineered at that time, the rules and everything within the tribe. The Inca is the man. In the Argentina Pampas, it's the men. In the Gullich, it was both the women and the man. So in various tribes, but women are considered the power of the tribe, even though the man rules it.
I wanted to rewind a little bit though. Where does the burning of the sage come from, and what does it mean?
It comes from the earth, and it's planted. It's planted in the woods. It's planted in the forest. It's planting by the road. You pick it. You can get the seeds. You can plant it in your yard, and you pull it. But before you pull it, you take some tobacco and you spread over it to thank the bush and the Creator for giving you that sage to help you. We drink it. We use it for medicine. We use it for prayers. We use it to send the spirits into a good journey. We also use Dreamcatchers as well. A long time ago, when two warriors would fight, two tribes, they always carried a dream catcher with them. And when one killed you, that person, that warrior, would take and swipe it from foot to head to keep your spirit from entering the spirit world. And they would hang it on the nearest tree so your spirit could never be released unless they come and released you. Now, and it was also used for children that have nightmares, and it was hung on their period back. It was hung above their heads so that so that when the sun come in, it would filter all the good dreams through and catch the bad dreams. Every piece that we make traditionally, if you see a lot of dream catchers and people are selling them, and if they can't tell you the story, or if they can't tell you that everything has a song to it, it's not real. It has sinew, it has leather, suede, and the web is by the spider. We do the webs, we create it like a spider creates their webs to catch the bad dreams. And the spiders make it for their babies to catch food in. So my grandmother taught me to sing a song. Every piece has a different song to it. And if you see a lot of copies, they're not real. And when we finish, we smudge it with sweetgrass, we smudge it with sage. After we put it in the sun, we pray on it, and it's done. And it will find its own home. It doesn't go just to anybody. They will find their homes. And when it goes to that person, it will bless their homes. And also, you have to put it out every 30 days from the time the sun rises at the peak until the sun goes down. Not all the way, because we believe that the spirits walk the earth at night. And if you leave it past dark, the spirits can enter that dream catcher, and you bring it in the house, those spirits are going to enter your house and you can't get rid of it, and they will cause chaos. So you put it out as the sun's rising, you take it in as the sun is going down behind the peak of the mountain to cleanse it every 30 days. So that's the real story of a dream catcher.
So you know 7 languages. Do you know them all fluently? Like, how well do you know all of these languages. And what languages do you know again?
I was fluent in French, fluent in Chinese because I worked in China. And so the year that I was there, I learned fluent Chinese, not Mandarin, Cantonese. And then I learned Navajo when I worked on the Navajo reservation as the dorm manager in Low Mountain, Arizona. So I can speak Navajo. Yaktahe albini ochita hachuka na asiato. And then I speak Quechua. Tasume ame ikiataka akote achi.
All I know about Navajo is Yache. That's all I know. Yeah.
Yache achia tuka awa use bayakachi. And then when I turned to Spanish, yo me gusta mucho, gusto conocerlo ustedes. Muy con mi corazón es la espíritu. El mejor creator. Cuidados ustedes y su familia en la madre de tierra.
Now, which one is the least known?
Quechua from Peru. The Aztec language is dying out. About a lot of the languages are dying out because the elders are going, and because of the boarding schools and stuff that stopped it. And some of the young people never learned the languages, but now they're reintegrating the languages and they're becoming a little bit stronger and stronger and stronger. But there are still some nations that are still having problems getting organized, getting their languages back, but they are trying hard because some children were born speaking a language, their native language, before anybody taught them. I spoke my native language before I learned English. Then I learned, and then I was taught Spanish. So English is my third language. And in school, I hated speaking English. Only federal recognized tribes have their own schools. State recognized tribes do not have their own schools. We have to go to public schools. That's why all the state recognized tribes are trying to get federally recognized, but they get turned down repeatedly.
How does storytelling function among the Native Americans and among your tribes? And are there certain teachings and values that are passed through these stories?
One time there was a grasshopper and he had his one leg crumpled. He goes to the mice and he said, "Can you carry me to my next destination?" The mouse looked at him and goes, "No, I don't have time. I don't have time to bother with you." So the grasshopper goes along, comes to a rabbit. And the rabbit says, "Can I help you, my brother?" And the grasshopper was weak. And the rabbit says, "Hop on. I will carry you." So the rabbit hopped and hopped and hopped for days and days and days until the grasshopper was strong. And the rabbit said, "I can go no farther because the coyote is on the horizon and he sees me, so I need to go." So the grasshopper was strong. He hopped and hopped. And then he saw the coyote chasing the rabbit. So the grasshopper turned around. He started to go forward. Then he remembered, "Oh, he saved my life. I need to help him." So he runs and runs and runs. And he puts up his hoppers like this. And he gouges the coyote. And the coyote goes away. Now, my grandmother would say, "Hahoni, what did you learn?" And she said, "Think carefully. What did you learn?" She said, "No. Tahokape." She said, think, tahokape,
Think.
She said, "This will save you one day." So I looked, she said, "Dissect the story." The grasshopper was crippled. The mice refused to help, but the rabbit of another color helped you. She said, "It doesn't matter about the color of the person. It's the heart and the spirit of the person that helps." Not everybody in life will help. A lot of people will be rats behind your back.
Sometimes I'll run into someone who says, "Oh, I'll never date, this people group because I had a bad experience with someone of that people group." And I was advising this young lady one time. I said, "No, it's not. That doesn't mean everyone in that people group is like that. You got to look at the inside. because you're going to find people of that people group that are good and people that are bad, right? So don't limit yourself to only certain people groups because you think that they're better boyfriends or they're better girlfriends. So speaking of that, how does dating and marriage work in some of these Native American tribes that you're familiar with?
It used to be where the father would choose the groom for the
Wow.
and they would get a bride price.
A Dory.
And yes, and the girl wouldn't have no say to it, whether they were bad, whether they were good, because sometimes the parents were really poor and they had a beautiful daughter and they wanted their son to marry somebody of higher level within the tribe, and it didn't matter if he beat her or if he didn't provide for her. So, but now it's like you choose who you want to choose. And then there's still some that are traditional that go by and they bring a bride price to the parents, like horses or food, gifts, and they do it the traditional way, which is very respectful. And the ones who dance and the ones who drum, most of them, and the ones who sing, they carry most of the traditions.
What are some of the most important issues or priorities your community is working on right now?
Citizenship, women's rights, getting ourselves recognized as federal. That's so important. It shouldn't be that way. When Jefferson was the president, he ordered Grant's army to march in Georgia, from Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, and take away the Cherokees. My aunt, I have a great aunt and uncles that died on the Cherokee Tears Trail of Tears. And a lot of elders died from freezing, no shoes. They raided in the middle of the night. About 3 o'clock in the morning, they came. And we already had log cabins. We already were growing corn. We were already getting along with our neighbors, but they still raided us. And then the ones who escaped from the Trail of Tears ended up coming back into Tennessee and hiding in the caves of Tennessee and North Carolina. And my great grandfather changed his Indian name because if we were caught saying that we were Indian, we would be put on the reservation or shot. And then the Cheyenne River, they had a peace treaty, and they were told by the government, as long as they raised that white flag of truce, the army would not invade on them. Well, one day the elders went out hunting, and the older people, the elders were left behind with the kids, and a lot of the women were left behind. The army came, no warning, and one of them ran out and said, "We're at peace, we're at peace, we're at peace," and they were all massacred. Yes, you can go online and get the Cheyenne book. You can get the Cheyenne River Massacre. You can get the 500 Nations. You can get the Trail of Tears. You can get all these books plus more online at Amazon. Or even you can go to a bookstore and go in the Native American Indigenous section and read about all of them. You can read about Sitting Bull. You can read about Cochise. You can read about Tecumseh. You can read about Squanto. You can read about Chato, an Apache warrior. You can read Mescalero tribe. You can read all of this history written, but you have to determine what is the truth, what isn't the truth, because so many tales have been told that are not the truth.
Is there any specific plants or herbs or animals that has a significant or important to the tribe?
All animals. Every
All
animal. All. Herbs, every plant that grows wild that you see. Yes. And all you have to do is scan it and look at it, and it will tell you what it's good for. Lavender is good for your skin. Lavender is good for your immunity system. The yellow with like the daisies and stuff, that's good to relieve indigestion and belly, and it also reduces fever. Cedar is good to drink for calmness. Lavender is also used good for sleeping. You can actually put a little bit in a baby's bottle and it does not hurt the baby. It helps relax them. Sage is good for your overall body, for calmness, for relief of anxiety.
In Oneida, they have a special animal called white deer. I don't know if you've seen a white deer, and they used to offer it. And also they have also pine trees, but this pine tree is very special because they're white pines. That is the special tree for the Oneida Nation. In your nation, is there any special specific trees that have really significant?
When you're out in the woods, you see a pine tree, you can boil it, and it's aspirin. It's mixed with aspirin, pine trees. Cedar is mixed to help you relax when you're hunting or something. You can also smudge yourself to keep the deer from, or the animal that you're hunting, from finding you, from sniffing you out. The white cypress is a blessing tree. The cypress tree and the white buffalo means that new changes are coming. Yes, the white deer, the white albino deer is a sign of wisdom, is a sign that winter's coming, is a sign that the new earth is populating, regenerating. So there's very things that when you go into your sweat lodge, and then you go for your spiritual journey and you have one, then an animal will appear before you, to not like a messenger from the creator.
Wow.
Mine is the hawk. I have several. I have the deer. I got the deer when I was in South Dakota, when I was in my 40s. I went out there to visit a friend, and he took me to where a movie was made, and all of a sudden a family of deer came jumping, but the buck stood on the rock and he kept staring at me. And my friend, who was full-blooded Lakota, said he's never seen that in his whole life. And that's when I was given the deer spirit to warn me about things when I'm traveling. And the deer does show up when I'm traveling and something bad's going to happen. And then the hawk comes to show me that my path is, I'm on the right way. And the turtle came to me in my dream and it reminded me. And then my grandmother came and said, that is your sign to know when you need to slow down and to rethink the position that you're in or the direction you need to go.
Our last episode was by Dr. Cloete from the Wolf Clan of the Oneida Nation. I encourage everyone to watch that if you haven't watched it yet. There's a lot of excellent health advice and a lot of natural stuff that's brought up there too. But I have a question. That's completely different. Like being in a wolf clan or a clan that's represented by a certain animal, that's completely different than a spirit guide, right? Can you tell me about like different clans within a nation?
Yes. I'm from the wolf clan and the deer clan. And they have the rabbit clan. They have the turtle clan. So there's various types of clans. Let's say you're of a turtle clan, but you are of the Navajo Nation. But I'm the deer clan from the Comanche. We could not marry because we are related. We are cousins. So if you are of the same clan, but of a different tribe, you're family. You can't marry within that clan.
Even if different tribe, but if the same wolf clan or the same turtle,
Even of different tribes. If you do, that's called intermarriage, interfamily marriage.
Is that allowed in the tribe, intermarriage?
It just depends. Some allow it, most of them don't, but a lot of them do. So, because they can't stop if you go to a preacher and get married. You see what I'm saying? A long time ago, they could stop it, but now they can't. But normally, if you say that you're from a wolf clan and I come and say my lineage is from a wolf clan, then we're family. We automatically know and we say welcome, you know. But when you go to, now I'm going to bring this up, it's a little bit different. When you go see a medicine person, you bring them gifts, not monetary, you don't give them money or anything. You don't just say here. If you want to give them money or something, you put it in the gift bag of fruit, food, but you always put a red cloth in there, and you bring tobacco, Tickety back tobacco, and you put it in the basket. My grandmother would never charge, and my great aunts would never charge. And when somebody comes for me for help, or for me to see what's going on in their life and to help direct, I never charge.
What's something about one of your tribes' history that most people don't know, but they should?
One of the traditions is the sweat lodge, and then you go on your spirit quest. It's sacred. And when a young girl becomes 13 and they do a sacred ceremony, it's not announced. You can't talk about it. Whenever you're in a sweat lodge with you and your friends, whatever's in that sweat lodge, once you come out, you can never, never talk about it again, not even amongst yourself. You let it go. And a sweat lodge is not paid for. A sweat lodge is an honor to be asked to come in. It's a healing part of your journey, part of your life. And a lot of people think and play with that. And some of our own people are selling it to make money. And they've caused a lot of harm to a lot of people. People have died in a sweat lodge.
What happens in a sweat lodge?
All right, when you go first, you're cleansed. You go to the river, to the creek, wherever what water's there. You cleanse yourself in cold water. I mean, it's cold. Then the fire is started on the outside. The fire is started to burn the wood and stuff, the heat that you put inside the sweat lodge. And then more smoke. And then you enter and you all sit in a circle, and the medicine man knows your request because you've given him your gift. You've gone to him and you've explained what's bothering you, what you want help with. He prays. The chanting starts. A couple other natives, but men and women do not sweat together. If they do, it's not a real sweat lodge. Once you leave that, then you go to the mountains or you go to a sacred place. 3 days, 3 nights. You have water, no food, and you sit there in a circle, and you have watchers to make sure nobody comes up there, because nobody can come up there while you're on your spiritual quest.
Wow. Is that similar to I don't remember the name of that the ayahuasca, or I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I've heard in South America they have these places where you take ayahuasca, and then you have this sort of spiritual journey.
Yeah, it's a drink that they make. It's almost like peyote, to where you grind it up into the white powder and you take it a little bit. Hallucinogenic state that you go into. But it's not like a regular hypnotic state. It takes you on your spiritual journey. And if your spirit is not able to handle what you're seeing, the demons and all bad, and if you can't walk through that, you don't come back the same person. So you have to be very careful. Yes, and it's very dangerous. If you are prepared mentally, spiritually, and physically, especially here and here, has to be one. If you go in and this, the demons will get you, and they will not leave you until decide within that moment that you're strong in your spirit to get rid of them and to fight them, they will haunt you and you will become possessed with them.
So what's your belief about like angels and demons and God and the devil, good and evil? What is all that in your belief system?
We believe in demons, but we don't call them demons. We call them entities, and they walk the earth. But you've got to be able to detect them. You've got to be able to feel them. You've got to be able. Some can see them, and I have seen them. I'm going to mention one, but we're not supposed to talk about it. But I'm doing it. A skinwalker. They're real. I've seen it. I've heard them on the Navajo reservation at the school where I've taught, where I was the manager of the dorm for the kids that stayed there. I've witnessed one by myself here in one of the mountains at the lake where I was camping. I would look out my tent and there was this one restroom that was closed, totally closed, no lights. And one night I looked out and all of a sudden the lights came on. There was no electricity there. Then all of a sudden it went dark and I watched it for a couple of nights. And the third night I was standing out by my tent and I was watching, and my tent was parked this way, camped this way. And the rest area was across the field, but close enough in walking distance and seeing distance. All of a sudden I saw something come out. I stood still. I made no noise. And it turned around and I saw it glance my way and I saw it run and hop off. And then the dog that I had that I saved from on the way out, I stopped at a friend's place and she had this dog, but she didn't want it. And it was a pup and I took it. And all of a sudden I was walking by my tent and it just out of nowhere growled at me. And I saw its eyes change and it tried to bite me. And then another morning, I was fixing breakfast and I usually give him some breakfast from what I cooked. And I was walking around and all of a sudden he lounged at me and his teeth just came back. I mean, just like he went, just like he was literally going to tear me to pieces. But he was on his leash and he came from the other side of the table out of nowhere. And he had never acted like that before until that night. And I saw his eyes change. And I looked at him and I said, I know what's wrong with you. And he became possessed. And other people around me came one day and saw him just lounge for no reason at all. And he was not an aggressive puppy. And I said, you need to get away from here. So I found him another home and everything to get him away from here. He kept in touch with me, and what was in that dog disappeared before they left where we were staying at the lake here in New Mexico. From what I understand about that area, I did some history and research, found out that there was a lot of problems there and a lot of people got killed there and their spirits walk it, and they were not good people.
So I listened to an interview recently on YouTube by Scott Ritsema, and he talks about he interviews this man that was actually raised by Satan, and he has some serious experiences with demons and so forth, and also how he was freed from that. So I'll put that in the link for sure. I encourage you to read the book, everyone, and listen to that podcast as well.
So, in your tribe, what are the biggest challenges that your tribal community is facing today, and how do your community address with it?
I don't like speaking bad about anybody, but Trump has taken away a lot of the health clinics, nurses funding. He has, and a lot of the schools on a lot of the reservations, especially the South Dakota, the Cheyenne, the Navajo, they're not in good shape. There's ceilings are falling out of it. Rain comes in, mold. They have no equipment. And a lot of the Navajo area, doesn't have running water. There's one area in Lakota that is AIDS, that only AIDS, the people that have AIDS go and live out within the tribe, but it's in another district. Drugs and alcohol, very high, and especially alcohol and meth, crystal meth. And in South Dakota, like I said, I've seen pedophiles come and parents, druggies, they go where the druggies are, and the women will give their babies or let them adopt them, and they abuse them for ever how long, a day, a couple of days, a week, and then when they give them money for their kids and stuff, and we need to stop it.
Yeah. So how do you guys, or your leadership, or the leadership, or the chief, the administrator of the nation, address the situation?
A lot do not take care of their elders, do not take care of their people. They have their goonies that they put in the office. They have two books, like I mentioned earlier, one for the government and one for themselves, to where they take the money that the government gives these federal tribes and they put them in their pocket, and they don't distribute it like they're supposed to among the people.
Oh, man, that is sad. Very, very sad.
Yeah,
Wow.
they steal from their own people. Now the Osage is good. The Cherokee are pretty good to a point. The Oneida up in not Oneida, but the other one up in New York, very good chief, very good president. He created homes. All the homes are as much money as what the chief lives in. Oneida are really good about their people as well, to a point. But the ones in Canada, forget it. They have just as much trouble. The Cree and everything, they have just as much trouble as the ones here in the States.
What are some misconceptions about Indigenous people that you'd like to correct?
The number one thing, we were the first people here in the United States. We're the only ones with a number, and this should not be. In the whole world, the only other people that have a number is the Jews from the concentration camp. Other than that, we are the only people that have a tribal number, and we're known by that tribal number. We are human beings. We're not black. We're not red. We're not yellow. We're not green. Our blood runs the same as everybody else's. We have the same problems as everybody else, every culture. But don't judge us. We are human beings. We are the first in the United States. This is our land. Our ceremonies are not wicked. Our ceremonies have been handed down from tradition to tradition to tradition. Don't come up to me and say, oh, a Dreamcatcher's not real. Don't come up to me and say, don't use sage. Don't come up to me and say, sweetgrass, sage sticks. Don't tell me that we're not real. Our skin is from all colors, light. Some of us have blonde hair, blue eyes. One more thing.
Yes, go ahead.
Before you judge, come to our reservations. You need help coming to our reservations? I'll open it for you. I'll get you on that reservation. I'll take you around and let you see the hunger, the pain that a lot of them go through. The elders walking 70, 80 years old, walking to a grocery store because of no car, because their kids are on meth or alcohol. So people need to wake up and realize what's going on. Don't judge us. Come and look. Come and take a look.
Yeah, I just have one more question about your nonprofit organization. Tell us what you do there and how it serves people, and also how people can get in contact and or even visit to see, how they can benefit and what they can do.
It's called Native Flags Under One Nation.
Come again?
I called it that because at one time, all the tribes was one nation, but they had their own flags. And so I took that name from our history. And what I do is I don't get paid from any of this. I don't take money. Everything is open. From the time I go on Facebook, you can hit me up under Carla Goodson, parentheses Collie, Colly. You can also message me. And what I do when I started it, I had a dream, I had a vision, but I needed help putting it together because I didn't know how to organize it. I'd never written a
Okay.
501c3 out. So I called a friend of mine. She came in from New York and she
Mm-hmm.
stayed with me 2 weeks. And she got my ideas and we went to the Catholic Church and he was interested in it. And so she went in there, she wrote it within a week and we put it together. And what I do is I call different tribes. I do not go to the president's tribal office because any donation you take to the tribe and goes to the office, they take it and it does not distribute to the people. So I get one ground person and I say, send me a list of what you need for that district, whether it's jackets, hats, coats, food, whatever, chainsaw, whatever. I go out, I put out flyers, I get on Facebook, I load it up, I shoot it out, and I take my money. I rent a van. My money pays for a van. It pays for the gas. It pays for my room. The money that goes into this buys food, goes to Goodwill, goes wherever, flea markets, wherever, to get jackets, to get shoes, to get whatever. People don't bring it to me. I go in my car, my gas, my time. I go to their house. I pick up donated food. I bring it back. I bring in a person. I ask for volunteers to come to my house to help me sort it and put it in bags. We load the truck up. I drive. On the way, I video it. I videotape everything. Everything is in the open from start to finish. When I drop it, when I put it out, I videotape it. I get elders to come in and sign a paper that they've been serviced. I have enough money. I go the next day. I buy more food in that town. I bring it back. I serve more.
Wow. So Carla, if you have a message before we close, what is your message to the people out there watching this podcast and listening this podcast?
Learn to respect others. Walk away in silence. Don't, if you're angry, you don't have to cuss at a person. Walk away. Let it go. Let it die. Because when you have anger in your heart, you have to live with that guilt afterwards. Don't look at homeless like they're nothing because they have hearts. You don't know their shoes. You don't know what it's like. When you hear a woman tells her story of being raped, because I was, and living in the streets, don't judge me. Learn my story. If somebody's asking you for a quarter, don't give them money. Give them something to eat. That's what the Creator did.
Yeah.
He helped. Help because you want to help, but don't talk about it. Don't discriminate about it. Everybody has a heart. Everybody has a story. Just because they don't just because they're in the streets, that doesn't mean they don't have a brain. Yes, a lot of them are alcoholics. A lot of them are druggies. I know that. But that doesn't mean that they need to be stepped on. That doesn't mean that they need to be kicked like a dog. If a dog is laying in your path, that dog was there first. Walk around it. And when you have animals, quit throwing them out. You
Wow.
don't need a dog. It's sitting in the hot sun with no water, no food, and you begging for money. Be a human being, not just with mind, not just with soul, but with spirit. Don't spit on people.
Thank you so much, Carla. Thank you so much for the powerful message right there. Carl, do you have something share before we will close this?
Well, I just want to remind everyone to like and subscribe. We really appreciate you listening to us today. In the description below, I'm going to put Carla's nonprofit organization. You could check it out.
Mhm.
If you're nearby, you could visit her. And also, if you are an Indigenous leader, we want your voice to be heard. If you
Mm.
contribute to the people around you, even like from anywhere in the world, this isn't just North America, this isn't just Native Americans. You might be an Indigenous person from somewhere else in the world and you want to
Yes.
be heard, then please contact us, comment, and we will get back to you. If you have a
Mm.
message, if you have a nonprofit organization, we want you to be heard. So contact
Yeah.
us and comment below with anything you might disagree with. Maybe you disagreed with something in this episode. Feel free.
Yeah.
We believe in open, honest communication, free speech. So we definitely want to hear from you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Carl. Before we close this, those who are watching this podcast, before we close this, like what Carla said, that we are all human, regardless of our color, creed, nation, language, and tongue. I remember a song, and the song says, "Red and yellow, black and white, all are precious in our Creator's sight." So this is the thing that we had to remind ourselves that we are no better than other people, no matter what our creed, color, or nation. So, thank you so much for watching again this episode. Thank you so much. That was so touching moment. I was also touched, Carla, by your message, and Cal. Thank you so much for having this as my fellow co-host. See you around in our next episode. This is your friend, Pastor Efra Caroro.